Good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome to another episode of SJU. We've got some things to talk about today. There's actual movie news. What? That's crazy. Captain Marvel 2 has a director. Netflix wants a Star Wars. Don't we all? Am I right? We are going to break this down. I am Danielle. Hello. Here is Spencer.
Hey.
Hello, and we have Joe, who is also going to be hosting the Fandom 5 trivia on Avatar: The Last Airbender next Friday, the 14th. You can win up to $650. The link is in the description if you want to watch or if you want to play. Joe is very good at hosting trivia, you guys.
Man, that's like a lion turtle's amount of money, man. That's a lot of money.
So many turtles.
A
So some exciting things. Yeah, we have actual movie news. I'm really pumped for this. So Captain Marvel 2 has tapped Candyman director Nia DaCosta, who was also directing the anticipated reboot of Candyman, has been tapped as director on Marvel's sequel to Captain Marvel. Disney and Marvel Studios had no comment. DaCosta will be taking over for Adam Bowden and Ryan Fleck, who co-directed, and also were co-writers on the first pick, which obviously was a huge box office success for Marvel. Buzz has been really strong for Candyman. We all like those movies where we say names into a mirror a certain amount of times, and the trailers looked great. I'm glad that we're getting out that she's the one doing it, because everyone just keeps saying Jordan Peele. Guys, it's not. He is producing, he is part of the producers, but she is the one who is running the show. So I'm glad that that's being included in all the headlines as well.
It'd be weird if they were calling this Jordan Peele's Captain Marvel 2.
He just
From the
takes
twisted
over
mind
everything.
of Jordan Peele.
Oh, patriarchy.
Ooh. Which slow motion song would you like to hear from the 90s? I would like to hear Just a Girl, all in minor key.
Yeah.
Someone in our comments for a video suggested they wanted to hear a slowed down spooky version of I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan for something. And I was like,
For the Mulan trailer, perfect.
Yeah,
For the Mulan trailer.
I could minor key that. I could minor key the crap out of it. So obviously, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen movies. But should we assume that maybe Marvel has already seen Candyman and really liked what they saw? Because that's kind of the thing that's got the big buzz right now. I'm kind of under that assumption, but it's hard to say. She's also got a lot of hype right now. This isn't like her first movie that she's ever directed. And you can find her in tons of interviews where she's talking about her craft as well. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming they probably saw part of it. There was a short that was made, but also she's just kind of on that young directors hot list right now, you know? If there was a, hottest directors under 80 or whatever list, like she would be on that.
80 under 80.
80 under 80.
Still got a chance to make that list.
Give me 2 more years and then I'm off. Still have a chance on that. She did have a previous film, Little Woods, was also a crime thriller. Candyman's a horror movie. Are you guys surprised with the fact that they are tapping her for Captain Marvel, considering it does seem like she leans more into sort of that darker fare when it comes to the things that she chooses for projects?
Am I surprised? I don't know, not really. It seems like it's kind of a throwback to Marvel picking unformed, unestablished people and then molding them in their own image. It's kind of like sneaky, because when they work with established people, when they worked with Patty Jenkins, Edgar Wright, Ava DuVernay, they didn't stay on the movie. They had their own ideas. So this seems like somebody that they can that is a rising star and a talent, and like they took James Gunn from a horror place to a comic book place. Like they've done that in the past. I think that where some people might see risk in, she's never handled a movie this big before, Marvel could see opportunity in, like, she'll make the movie we want her to make, but have her own input too. But like Marvel directors, they're like TV show directors. It's like, here, service this episode in the grand overarching phase 7.9 that we're on or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are they definitely do that a lot. I think there's some examples where they have fixed that a little bit. I think they let Coogler kind of do his thing, like 75% his thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 75% your thing.
Yeah, so
that 25% is like, this is, remember, you're part of the MCU. Make it look like a PS2 cutscene in the third act.
yeah.
How many parts of the body do you think take up mouse ears? Like, because that's the part that's them, because that's where they put the remote control device that makes you do everything they want you to do, right? They just put it right in the ears, strap the ears on you, and then that is the percent of the movie you don't get control over, right?
Do you think that that's how Disney directors find out they've got a gig? Is that like a pair of mouse ears just gets like left at their front door one day, or like there's a weird creepy butler that presents them to them? And
They wake up next to them, I think.
Yeah, they wake up next to
Like a
them.
Beyonce Parkwood clothing drop, you just wake up and there's a huge chest of ears, and then you know which property you got by what's on the ears.
Love it.
I would love that. That's also that is a weird dumb fashion reference that I would never make.
I do love. I think a lot of things are happening right for a very talented director right now. As loud and as properly loud as people are about being like, this isn't Jordan Peele's Candyman. I do give Jordan Peele props right now for knowing that he's incredibly hot and big and on an upward trajectory, and he's taking people with him. I think she would have been fine, but there's just something to be said for like someone being like, let me help you kick the ceiling down a little bit, you know? And I think some love from somebody like a Jordan Peele like goes a long way.
Yeah, and look, that's like the only way that things really start happening. Obviously, it isn't becoming a thing where people just like, this isn't one of those cases where you get plucked out of secretarial pool and then suddenly, you're the executive producer of the executive vice president of the company.
Yeah, this isn't Ryan Murphy's Hollywood.
Someday. But this is like, that is how things work now. It does have to be, you have to be able to show that you can do the work, and she has written and directed multiple movies. You have to show that you can do the work. You have to show that you're capable of it. But it does eventually have to usually come down to, if you're going to make the career leap in anything, a next level career leap, it has to be someone risking their neck and saying like, I will take this person on and I will assume the risk. Because once one person does it, then everyone's like, oh, it's cool, like the rest of us can get on, we can jump on board now. But no one wants to be that first person to give essentially, which is, movies are weirdly, they're kind of investment properties. No one wants to give this multi-million-dollar baby to someone who hasn't been already vouched for. And so you're right.
And it's a catch-22, because there's no way to get the experience for making a movie like this without making a movie like this.
Yep.
There's like probably 12 people in the world who've directed these enormous franchise $200 million movies, and like, exactly, how do you make more of them? Somebody has to pull somebody into the club and say, it's your turn, you're up next. So I think it's fantastic, and I do think that at least from what I've seen of her work before, that like she has an amazing, unique visual eye. I just wonder how that'll mesh with, Captain Marvel. Look, say what you will about the movie, but it looks like a Marvel movie. Like, of all the Marvel movies, it looks the most Marvel-y in a long time. Like, I can't think of what kind of visual creativity that Captain Marvel is bringing to the table beyond like an Ant-Man or an Iron Man or a Thor, or like it just looks like straight down the middle Marvel movie to me.
But see, Thor is an interesting one to me, because when you bring up Thor, it reminds me of like when you get to a Ragnarok, or when you get to,
I meant Thor 1, but yes,
no, but that's what I'm saying is, like, you get to these sequels where you get to a Ragnarok, you get to a Winter Soldier, where the movie tonally and the way that it looks, the way that it feels, completely shifts from the first movie. For whatever reason, sometimes it is because they brought in different creative teams. It just isn't, Captain America very hardcore on the Rocket Man, the Rocket Man vibe, the Rocketeer vibe. Sorry, Rocket Man's a different movie.
That'd be fun.
I would have watched that as well.
You sounded like you got me the wrong toy for Christmas.
You said you like that Rocket Man. You got them rockets on. He wear them glasses. He got them baseball pants on. That's not what you wanted, right?
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Go sing another Saturday night while Mama has her special juice. But so it does, like, I'm interested to see if we do wind up seeing a tonal a shift, or if it does wind up looking and feeling different now that we've gotten to the sequel and the character is established, because that is also, as marvelly as the Marvel style is, I do think that that is a major Marvel thing. There are, as I said, the previous co-directors had also done a lot of the writing on the previous Captain Marvel. So now the writer of Captain Marvel 2 is Megan McDonnell, who was a writer on WandaVision, which is where we're going to get the introduction of the adult version of Monica Rambeau. As you remember, she was played by a very adorable, precocious kid in the first one. And then she will be introduced here, where, for those of you who I don't know follow the comics, she is technically, I believe, she was the first Captain Marvel. But so she's also been Photon. She's had a lot of names. She's been through it, y'all. Her names change as often as my wigs. So, but she is a really, really popular character. People are really excited for that to come on. I guess it is safe to assume that there's going to be some connections here with Monica coming back into Carol's life, probably getting her own powers like in the comics. Is that something that you're psyched for? Do either of you have like a heavy Monica Rambeau lift?
Well, Danielle, first of all, I want to step in, and as your friend, I don't think you need to couch this in a lot of people are excited about Photon, I have heard, and I think you should just be very excited. Just own it. Oh, I know you're excited about Photon coming back. Own this.
I want her to have the fro, Joe. I will lend them any of my marvelous wigs, and they would like to give that lady a fro, please.
Give us Proton.
Give us Proton.
Proton.
She was also like she was handled very well and incredibly amazing and super funny in Next Wave, if that's ever something that you saw, which was the idea of just taking together a lot of these random characters around the Marvel universe and putting them in this very heavily stylized comic of which she was the leader. I really like Photon, and I'm super, super hyped for it. I enjoyed that we got to see her being obviously like cute, precocious kiddo in the first one. It did almost have that James Rhodes at the end of Iron Man, next time, baby, like kind of at the end of it. But it is about
She finds
time.
a tape with "I'm just a girl," like written on. She's like, "Next time, baby."
Next time, baby. Look, it is. Maria she's gonna be older. We don't know if anything's happened to her in between Captain Marvel and now, and Captain Marvel's going to need a new best black friend, and so she's already got one ready-made that we can bring on, because as we know, all Marvel characters have to have one best black friend.
Thank you for being my black friend.
do. I think that's as much as we can sing without getting pulled. So obviously we've all seen Captain Marvel a million times because we like it and because it is our job. Do you guys have any kind of like big thoughts on Captain Marvel? It was really, really big. It was a huge hit for them. Are there any changes that you would want to see in a sequel? Is there anything you would want to be different? Obviously, we're all very much making fun of a few parts of it that for me weren't my favorite. Didn't hate it as much as a lot of people, but yeah, I didn't necessarily need the "I'm just a girl" moment. It was
I think for me, sequel-wise, like Spencer said, it was the most like this is a Phase 1 Marvel-y movie feel in a while. Like it was because there was just so much origin and like so much ground to cover. It was almost like having to combine a superhero's origin like with Age of Ultron place setting, because it was like, here are these alien cultures, and they've always been at war, and here's how their soldiers work, and here's what they do, and they kidnapped this lady, and
here's what a Radio Shack was. They also had to introduce the 90s.
They had to reintroduce the 90s it was like, there was just so much
And have you thought about joining the Air Force?
Yeah.
Have you thought about it? Captain Marvel would like you to think about it.
And there was just there was so much just information sort of being thrust at you all the time that I don't think like the cast really got a whole lot of room to do.
Well, there was like a big character deficit at the core of the movie because she had movie-induced amnesia, right? She didn't know who she was, and that's just like a personal, not pet peeve of mine, but like I just think it's hard to really connect deeply to a film when the protagonist doesn't know who they are, unless it's Jackie Chan's "Who Am I?" And so
we're saying that Brie Larson fights a kick man and a punch man on a roof at the end of Captain Marvel 2, and I'm good.
It'll be on a
yes.
train. You know it'll be on a train. Why are you acting like it's not going to be on a train?
Okay, it could be on a train, yeah. Or since it's the '90s, it could be at Woodstock '99. they're in the rafters while Korn is playing "Freak on a Leash."
If ever there was a place we needed Captain Marvel, it was going to be during Korn's set at Woodstock '99.
But I would like something different. I would like something different from the first Captain Marvel. Stylistically and just tonally, I thought that it was a perfectly adequate Marvel movie, but it was a boring Marvel movie to me. I don't hate it, but it didn't excite me in the way that so many other Marvel movies have in the past, and I think that's because like Joe said, like they were setting so much groundwork and trying to build this character and doing time jumps and she did like literally she was discovering who she was. Yeah. Let's move forward from there. Let's maybe have some fun. Who's to say?
Yeah.
Let's turn the '90s down to like a 6.
Just set it in Portland. Just instead of it just being 90s,
modern day
just set it in modern day Portland. I will get my unicycle. Yeah, I have to agree. It feels very much because they had to cram so much that was going to be important for Endgame and wrapping up the story. It did wind up feeling like Iron Man 2, in that it was just a lot of stuff happening and it was just a bridge to serve. It was an exposition movie, which is great, but I think Carol is a great character. I think Brie Larson is a great actress, and I would really like to see there be more fun in that. And again, there was fun in it. There were tons of moments that I thought were a lot of fun, but
there was
mostly just exposition. Hi, Sarah.
There were like hats on hats, and I'm not gonna ask her to chime in because Sarah hates Brie Larson.
Oh no! Sarah really. How many YouTube videos does her channel have that are just about how Brie Larson is the worst?
Oh, my cat has her social media is exclusively about uncovering the threat of misandry. At the risk of turning into a full Captain Marvel 1 review, I think there was a hat on a hat. There was the amnesia stuff, and then there was also the emotional suppression side of it. And I think if we had had one or the other, that could have been a really interesting thing to explore. But they made her play both of those very strong things at once, and it was kind of a hat on a hat. And I think
I don't know who I am, and I also can't feel anything.
Yeah, that's very hard to play. But in her appearances since, I think we've gotten some cool seeds of what her character stuff could be, you know, like reminding people like, hey, you protect Earth. I have like a whole galaxy. I have a whole universe on my back. You know, and in the comics, they've explored sort of the burnout of what's the tag, higher, faster, further. Like there's a real burnout that comes with that. And which they've explored in the comics a lot. And so I think there's some cool stuff there. And also just the universe responding to someone as strong as Captain Marvel could be interesting. You maybe even get a little Phoenix-y there.
Ooh, get a little Phoenix-y. Like they weren't able to in Phoenix because they got too Captain Marvel-y. Time is a flat circle.
Although that they did have a fight on a train. So I don't know how to please you guys anymore.
They did.
What do you want? What do you want?
Do you want a train? Do you not want trains? I want trains, man. That's how I get around this town. All right, we're gonna go to the chat real quick. See what the chat thinks. Intro Nasia says Blade might work better given to a director that is familiar with the action supernatural projects of those type of films. Also, someone who could make this R-rated and cohesive. Valentine Lisser says I would like a fresh take on Captain Marvel 2. I thought it was good, but it didn't have that magic sparkle like some of the high-hitting Marvel movies.
Give me that magic sparkle.
Give me that magic sparkle. Is that a My Little Pony? I think it is. That's not shade. I genuinely think there might be one called Magic Sparkle.
Twilight Sparkle.
Damn it. Yes, thank you. And thank you, Sarah. I know Sarah told Joe when we weren't looking. Moonlight 1999 says, I was going to not read it because it starts with a compliment. Your videos are really awesome, and today is my birthday. Happy birthday, friend. That's
whose birthday was it?
Moonlight 95.
Moonlight 99 or 1995.
1995.
Yes.
Moonlight 95. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Moonlight 95. Langley, Neely. Hey, Langley. Monica Rambeau is in WandaVision. They got rid of the creative committee after Feige was promoted out of Perlmutter's hands. And then again, this is interesting. Valentine Lazar asks, guys, do you think we will continue to get $200 million movies with COVID and unreliable box office returns? I think we have to have a box office first, is the thing. I don't know how any of this, for me personally, is going to wind up washing out until we are actually like able to go to the movies again. I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Joe. Oh, okay, I'll go. The runway for these movies is like years long. So like we won't know for a couple years. Like right before we went in, they were probably greenlighting $200 million movies that wouldn't come out until 2022, 2023 even. So it's tough to say not only what the effects will be, but when we'll even feel them. Just because movies it's like driving the Titanic. It's kind of hard to change course because these the studios set their overall strategy and their film slate so long in advance. So like we already have Marvel's already got Phase 5 or something that they're developing, or it's 20 movies down the line they're thinking about. So something really drastic, or this would have to go on really long, I think, before they made fundamental changes to their plans. But hey, what do I know?
Hey, look, they're probably keep coming with those who should play what mutant thing on Twitter. I guarantee they're reading them, and they're probably doing all of the shows that we've done about that. You know that they're doing them all because they have time. They have nothing but time. I'm still sending people stuff. I still have ideas. I still want the guy from Shameless to be Wolverine because he is from Canada. All right, so we
William H. Macy.
Yes, I want William H. Macy. I meant Noel Fisher. I couldn't think of his last name. But no, now I want William H. Macy.
Oh, shucks. Check out these claws. What do I do?
Oh, just imagine him just...
Oh, Gene.
We do want to make sure that we pause right quick. We want to thank you all so much for being with us here every day. Please subscribe to our channel. You can get new vids every weekday. You can hit that like and hit that bell for us. Our next Fandom 5 trivia show, as we said, is next Friday on Avatar: The Last Airbender. That link is in description, and you will get to hang out with Joe Starr, which is like the best part of my day. So it can be the best part of your day too when you guys come and hang out, and he'll ask questions and be his goofy, adorable self. Sarah
Nothing like a good quarantine level highlight of having to hang out with Joe Starr. These are fun. These have been really fun shows though, and you can win some money. And they've been great. So even if you're not feeling up to playing, come hang out and watch because they've been super fun.
Yeah, $6.50 is rent somewhere. I don't know where, but I'm sure for some of you it's a whole rent. And not just a sad part of a rent. We also have a review with Eric and Spencer tomorrow for An American Pickle, which I'm really excited to see this movie.
American Pickle.
The new Seth Rogen movie, which is out on HBO Max. You can watch it tomorrow.
Watch it today.
Or watch it today, yes, to be ready for the review on Friday. That is the movie where Seth Rogen plays his own great-great-great-granddad who was pickled in pickles. It's just a lot of pickle stuff. Just a lot. It's just real pickly. And I'm very excited to see Eric and Spencer's take on it because it does look really super funny. All right. Segment 2, the great Netflix IP search. This is via The Hollywood Reporter. The Hollywood Reporter interviewed Tendo Nagana, VP of Original Films at Netflix since August 2018. He has previously spent time 9 years at Disney, so a long history of knowing how to make movies good that people go see. So talked about Netflix's strong performance over the last quarter and its future in trying to establish new IP. And one question which we found really interesting was, what is on your list of dream projects? And the response was, we are looking at big, broad audience, PG level adventure films as something that we want to get into. Something along the lines of the first Star Wars or Harry Potter 1 and 2, a lot of family live action, fantasy, spectacle movies that we think are big and can play great, a Jumanji type of story that is the new frontier. Pause. Is that the new frontier, or is that just all the movies everyone wants to make all the time?
I do think it's fair to say that it's a new frontier for Netflix, because while I think they're having a lot of hits in like certain quadrants. They haven't quite brought all those quadrants together. You know, Irishman and other one that
Roma?
Roma.
Extraction?
Roma.
Okay.
Old Guard?
Roma or Extraction, two very similar movies.
Yes.
You know, on one end you have sort of your award bait. Over here you've got some really fun like teen rom-com stuff over there, and then you have your like my dad and I are gonna watch this at an airport bookstore where the book version of it was sold kind of movies over there. So I think they don't quite have any massive four quadrant stuff yet. They've got some smaller hits I think that hit it pretty well, like Dragon Prince and stuff like that. But yeah, this is probably
they do in Stranger Things, I think, is what it sounds like they want. Stranger Things, the movie, where they just take all the PG hits, put them in a blender, and kind of spit it back into your mouth like a mother bird.
And I'll take it. Baby bird me, babies.
Yeah, look, cinematic experience be damned. That's how I want to view my content, is spit into my mouth. Christopher Nolan, you want me to come see Tenet? You spit it into my mouth.
Oh, Joe, you can buy that. That's something you can simply purchase. You shouldn't right now.
Not in a time of COVID.
Not in a time of COVID.
Not a fetish-friendly virus.
No kink shaming. Just do it with a mask. Ryan is frantically highlighting that it is Next Frontier, not New Frontier. So thank you, Ryan, for keeping me honest. The rebuttal to that was that will put you in even more competition with studios. And the response was, well, we look at it as what aren't the studios focused on? New ideas. We want to encourage great talent to think that way. George Lucas created Star Wars. It wasn't based on a book. Like the Wachowskis did with The Matrix, we feel like we are the place to take a chance on those types of innovative ideas and filmmakers.
I mean, The Matrix was based on Neuromancer. Look it up. But the interview was cool, but also weird because they really don't seem to care about money, specifically how much they spend on anything and what they see as a success. So either they either don't know or don't care, or they're lying, because they're like, we don't care how much these things cost. Like, we don't look at it that way. We don't really look at success or failure in traditional ways like movies do, because it's on Netflix forever, and like if it's good with one segment of people that we're looking to please, that's fine. This must just be the mindset of a company that's just like, they're just so flush with cash. They're taking out loans against themselves or raising money based on future performance, and they're just like, we just need to outlast the Disney Pluses and the Hulus, or outspend the Amazons, the Disney Pluses, the Hulus of the world, and then someday we'll look upon the wreckage and be the only ones left standing.
This does seem very, speaking of being flush with cash, this is very Entertainment 720, which is a fake company in Parks and Rec owned by John Ralphio. But it does feel very much like that, where it's like, we're just going to we're throwing stuff at the wall right now just so that people know that we are part of the big boys. At least how it feels to me. It feels like they're saying, hey, we want your ideas here. We want you to look at us at the same level as you look at everyone else, and we'll figure the rest of it out later. But hey, man, there's a hot tub in the back of that truck and it moves. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I think sort of to almost circle back to that, how's COVID gonna affect box office question. Netflix is taking a really big, weird gamble with how they view success and how they view box office, and I mean, we'll see in 5 years if it pays off, because again, it is an interesting interview, but to sort of go back to what Spencer was saying a little bit, like they're like, who knows how much it costs, because it might pop for a year and then go away and then pop it in 2 years from now, and like that's a big gamble with the $30 million playing lieutenant. Like, holy crap. But I don't know, maybe we'll see.
Do you think it's because it does sound like a lot of what they're saying is we want, those four quadrant things. We want it so it can be like the kids, the parents, a little bit of romance. dudes kicking dudes on a train. But it does sound like they're specifically with this trying to skew for a younger audience. Some people can be more cynical about things that are viewed as being for kids or children's entertainment. Do you think that it's a little trickier these days to make a real all ages hit? Do you think that they're going to stick to very strict PG-13 or PG label, or lean harder towards the Marvel PG-13 with whatever they try? Are we going to get that you can say the F word once? Are we going to get that you can say the S word once kind of thing?
Well, it's sort of two different questions. I think the reason they're leaning hard at families is because that's the one spot where Disney Plus definitely has them. Where Disney Plus is just pure, I got kids and I need to sit them down in front of 8 princess movies so that I can
or Star Wars or Marvel,
yeah.
like you
or
really
Star Wars or Marvel. Yeah, I think the question of are 30 to 40-year-olds going to tune in for family content, or is that like a dismissive term, is such a weird, ridiculous one to me, because pop culture right now is completely driven by our Arrested Development. Like,
yeah, it is.
Cats That Love Thunder that we loved when we were 6 going on 40. So there's a weird catch-22 of me being like, the royal me, being like, give me exactly what I liked when I was 8, but make it sick. You know, like
I would say the challenge that they have to get over isn't making something family friendly that grown-ups can enjoy too. It's launching something original. That's always been the challenge, and why studios have traditionally just been gun shy from putting hundreds of millions of dollars into a unproven idea. So Netflix is probably a better place for that, because people are more willing to just check something out when they're already subscribing, rather than pay a ticket to something they've never seen before. And maybe they'll use the algorithm to create like the platonic ideal of the like protagonist that like everyone, who knows what kind of monstrosity they'll create. So it's weirdly this something that expensive and original could probably only take place whether it was like Christopher Nolan or Netflix.
Yeah. Well, and we talk so much too about like IP dominates now. You know, no one's going to go to the movie theater unless it's a Marvel or a Star Wars or a Batman. And so Netflix now has this huge mountain to climb in terms of creating something new, because they've created plenty that's great. But it doesn't have just, you don't look at it and go, oh, the Honey Nut Cheerios bee, I know that bee. Oh, Luke Skywalker, I know what this is. Like, I think Dragon Prince is a great example. Dragon Prince is really, really good. It's really good. It's literally Game of Thrones for your family. It's really clever, and the writing's great, and the story's really fun. And it's literally the mission statement that he's describing. But to break through now, like to break through again, you know, these established IP that have just had their claws in for decades now is going to be the real test for Netflix.
And the way they can help with that is by bringing on a name recognized director and cast. Like if they bring 3 of the 4 Chris's on board, like they're doing with the Russo movie, or is it Ryan? Not Ryan Philippe, God. Ryan, the other hot Ryan.
Hey.
Gosling.
Respect Ryan Philippe.
He's up there. He's in a list.
He put a vegetable in his butt in MacGruber.
Damn right he did.
That's a Hall of Fame movie.
American hero. So you get a famous cast and someone behind the camera, and then I think you're buying that legitimacy, or that like fear of something new that we all say we don't have, but the behavior bears out that we don't like new things.
Well, and I will say this, a huge part of the reason why I think that the IP thing has become so big is because with the change in the way that movie-going behavior is now, where it is because they recognize that so many people were watching things from home, that they were like, hey, well, we gotta get you them dad chairs. Y'all like them dad chairs? It's a theater full of dad chairs. Put your feet up, put your beer next to you, have your nachos. We're gonna give you the full dad experience in the theater.
Steak now.
They have steak now, but they have made-to-order flatbread pizzas with freaking salad on it. You can buy things with goat cheese at the movie theater. You can, Mama can have her glass of wine. By Mama, I mean me. Like, there are things that that's part of the experience now, but it makes that experience more expensive than it is for a lot. If you have a family of 5, that now becomes the equivalent of, a day at maybe not Disneyland, but maybe like a Six Flags or something, or at least part of it, where it's like you got to pay, between $15 to $20 for this ticket so you can get the dad chair, and then you got to have all the snacks. Man, you got to have the snacks. And they're actually checking bags now, like they were not when I was a kid. So it's not like you can even bring in your old McDonald's. You have to actually order like their food and drink. It does wind up being an expensive day, and I think that is also one of the reasons why it has become such a thing where it's like, well, I'm only going to go, if I'm going to spend all this money, it's going to be something where it's like, hey, it's a Disney, it's a name brand I can trust. It is, the Kleenex of movies or whatever. And so I think what Netflix might also be banking on is the idea that, hey, we can make these big things, and then you can do the dad experience as home as you have been. It's a circle, guys. Like I say, it's all a circle. Like watching movies from home made it harder to convince people to go to the theater. So then the theater became a luxury experience. So now so then we stopped being able to justify going to just any old movie for a luxury experience. So now the people who made it so that the theaters had to do the thing they're doing now are saying, well, we'll just make our own thing, and you can still have your dad chair.
Yeah, wow, beautiful.
All in that chair.
It's a good dad. I have a dad couch. There's a where the side of it is my dad chair part.
I think the trick is going to be Netflix has to hook them young on their IP, then hold out long enough for those people to turn 40, and determine everything that's popular, and then Netflix is sitting pretty because everyone that's going to be like, I loved Netflix cartoon when I was 8 years old, and that's all I want to see. Like that's when the cash cow really comes home.
Yep.
Yeah, start making that good IP. All right, I'm going to go ahead and check in with the chat, see what the chat is talking about.
Hey, chat.
Hey, chat.
What you chatting about?
Look, I lived in the Midwest for a while. Occasionally, that's just going to come out. Hey, Indiana, how's it going? Adam Hubert says, let us have the Sarah Goose crossover. I agree. We all want it. We want Sarah versus a Flerken. Arceus.
Oh, I thought you meant you wanted my cat to meet Anthony Edwards.
Oh.
Which I was like,
now.
Which I was like, yeah, I'm very, very into that.
Well, now that's.
Oh, you wanted to fight an actual goose.
Yeah.
I want to watch her play Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see my cat sing Great Balls of Fire to Meg Ryan while playing Goose Game.
I do want that as well. Arceus, sorry, Lord of Creation, Captain Marvel 2, Money Plane in Space. Don't do this to me. You know I would see it.
Brie Larson punching the rumble is must see.
Yes, punching the rumble, or any Lawrence brother. They're everywhere in that movie.
Just a Captain Marvel movie, Captain Marvel 2, where the B plot is Edge sitting in the cockpit of a spaceship for the entire film.
You want to see a man have sex with a Flerken? Money Plane.
All right, so a little bit of skip there. It happens. Look, we're all flying our own planes. We're all flying our own money planes. I believe that we were going through some more audience things. I'm not sure where I ended up on. So I'm going to say Adam Holbert said, I think the challenge is getting attention to these new shows or movies that are in a maze of a film library. I do think that's fair. I will say I am getting a lot of, we think you would like this. That has nothing to do with anything that I've liked. I don't know. What does your I think you would like this look like, Joe?
Ours is all Korean dramas and true crime.
Okay, so it is what you would like.
Yeah.
They're very good with you.
I will say, because this has been everybody's complaint with Netflix for a long time, I think that top 10 helps. I think that top 10 is a really good way for people to go.
Nope, and we lost Joe. Oh man, the wheels are falling off this money plane.
God dang it. Come on.
I blame me. It's all me. I have magnet fingers. It's totally fine. It's all on
I'm
me.
like sitting here, message Danielle, like, come on, we can get a solid more 5 out of it. And then it's happened. We'll get Joe back up.
We don't need him back. It's fine. I've got I've been sharing the Fandom account lately, so I think it's really schizophrenic up there. There's a lot of there's some anime. There's some like real estate things. I think Max might be looking to flip his house or something like that.
We have a couple of people with houses right now.
Yeah, I've been watching Love on the Spectrum, which is delightful. What a sweet show. So good. So yeah, I think it has and we watch Old Guard and Extraction and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's all over the place.
Mine are like I have to go look, but I feel like there are. There are a lot more kind of gritty documentaries. And I'm like, I think I watched Love After Lockup once, and now it just thinks I want to hear about prison. It's like, no, I very specifically want to hear about people who fell in love in prison and then married that person they fell in love with after they got out of prison. Like, it is a very specific thing that I want to hear. I don't just want to hear about anybody in prison. I want to hear about love after one has been locked up. Hey,
I'm sure that's a category. That's like a tag for Netflix content. So
I think, I watched Orange is the New Black and that, and they were like, well, I guess she just likes prison.
Just like jail stuff.
Just like jail stuff.
You like jail stuff? Sorry about that, guys. I try to keep all my internet hiccups to SJU because if I do one during the Fandom 5, Roth will fire me. So I do them all here.
Sounds like a plan. Get it out of your system.
Awesome. Ryan, do we have anything else from the chat that you want to...
Yeah, I could throw a couple more in right now. Just give me a sec.
Heck yeah, just give him a second. Yeah, Joe, we were talking about how because I made the mistake of watching Love After Lockup, followed by, I think, Shameless, because there's a bunch of prison stuff in there, followed by, like, Orange is the New Black. Now Netflix just thinks I want to watch prison shows over and over again. And they're, like, very upsetting, disturbing prison shows where it's like, yeah, no, I know, the prison
not the fun ones, like Oz.
Not the fun ones. It's like, yes, prison's awful. I don't actually want to hear about prison. I want to hear about people finding love after
There is a weird challenge to those algorithms, though, because they're like, you like crime, maybe you'll like Killing Eve, or maybe you'll like the 10 times women was stalked on the way to their car, and you're like, what? No, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, like I absolutely,
very different things.
I don't want the weird women murdered ones, not at all.
Yeah. The top 20 most brutal women's prison fights.
Oh, I'm good. I'm so good.
You won't believe number 18.
I will. I'm a woman. Miss Orsa says, I feel like Netflix has gotten so much better at it. I think marketing, I believe this was a conversation with Langley Neely. Sarah Risley says, I hope Netflix gives me 10 more seasons of The Floor is Lava. Okay, I have not watched The Floor is Lava yet. What is this?
You gotta watch The Floor is Lava.
It's what it sounds like.
It's
the only thing it could be better is if it were actual lava. But they flood these like imagined locations with lava, and you have to get from point A to point B without touching the floor.
And then a white comedian create a character, hosts it, and narrates it, and he's great. But the key is the key is that his name is Adam Smith. But the key is that when you fall into the lava, they just use a lot of everyone commits and goes no, and then they never show the person come back out of the lava, and that's really the key.
Okay, that's actually pretty great. I can see. I'm gonna go look at some. I'm gonna go look at compilations of the best lava inks. What do they call it when someone lavas? Is it just lava ink, lava time, lava? They have to have like a name for it, right? They usually do.
They really don't.
Missed opportunity.
It really kind of is, honestly.
They just say burns to death. It's kind of grim.
They should get real brutal about it. Right now, their skin is melting from their bones.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's metal as heck, and so I will already do that. Let's see. We'll do like one more of these, and then we will go ahead and say our goodbyes. Blu-ray 15. I hate it when it recommends me a show I've already watched. It knows that you've watched it. So that's like liking something, except with your fingers and not all the way through.
Also, you might, just to be fair, because I do it all the time, you might be looking at your continue watching bar.
You should probably make sure
where I'm like, I've seen these. Wait a minute. That's why they're recommending The Patriot.
All right. So these are. I'm gonna. I just have one more question for all of us. We can do really, really quickly, and then we will go ahead and say our goodbyes. I have been doing this thing where I go on dates and on friend hangs where I do Netflix party where everyone can watch a show at once, and then also do the Zoom right next to it so that you can kind of watch and chat. Obviously, this doesn't work if it's a movie you actually have to pay attention to, but it can be a really fun thing. What do you think would make a great like Netflix party thing that's on there?
Ooh.
We have had a lot of luck. Love After Lockup is a very popular one. I watched Fatal Affair, which was great with just a bunch of black folks. Oh boy, it was just me and a bunch of black writers watching a very terrible movie starring very talented actors called Fatal Affair. That is a great one. Great British baking show. Also a very good one that you can kind of just.
That's a good group.
I gotta go. The Circle. I wish I had been able to watch The Circle with just like a room full of people. That's the weird competitive one where no one actually meets each other and they're all like catfishing each other and just talking like through social media and stuff. And it's. I know there's a bunch of other international spin-offs now, but you just gotta watch that first one. The personalities are so good, and there's one guy who just like shouts everything as he says it, and I wish I had gotten to watch that with a room full of people.
That's me. Spenny, do you have one?
I think a good group watch. Check out. I believe it's called Down to Earth with Zac Efron, and take a shot every time he says "Whoa."
Oh my god!
Oh, that's the one where he discovers other countries exist, right?
Have you been? Did you watch the Amazon one yet? Or no? It's Amazon or Costa? Yeah, it's the Amazon one when they.
I don't think so.
Oh, it's so good. They like slowly start to. You can tell that he's just almost about to realize that they're interviewing a cult. Like he's so close. I think it's Costa Rica.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of those white hippie communes, like in Costa Rica, and like. Just the whole episode, you can kind of tell that he's about to put it together. It's great television.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Como se dice cult?
Sarah liked that one as well. All right, thank y'all so much for joining us. Do not forget, there is going to be all that sweet pickle review and talk tomorrow with Spencer and Eric. Check that out. And once again, our own Joe Starr will be on the 14th. He will be doing that sweet Avatar. That sweet. Yeah, it was Avatar.
It was Avatar. Yeah.
Yeah, the sweet Avatar trivia. So check that out as well. And we will see you all back here tomorrow. Bye. Have a good one.
See ya.
Patriarchy.